Hi Capricorns, welcome to your July horoscope. We have a busy month ahead of us, so let's see what July is gonna bring to us. On the very first day of July, we have the conjunction of Sun and Mercury. Technically, this conjunction happens on June 30th, but it's still in effect on July 1st. So yeah, this conjunction happens on the 8th degree of Cancer, meaning it happens in your relationship house. What does this conjunction mean? The sun is the thing that illuminates stuff. Mercury is communication, our thoughts, so you might come to some sort of understanding in your relationships. Yeah, because this conjunction happens every year, or like every 2 years, or every 3 years in your opposite sign. Yeah, so on July 3rd, we have a full moon in your sign on the 11th degree of Capricorn. So those of you who were born in early January are gonna feel this the most. But I mean, all Capricorns are gonna feel it. But yeah, anyway. So those of you who were born in early January, or Capricorn rising people who have your rising sign around the 11th degree of Capricorn, you are going to feel this the most. So the full moon is when you have the full moon in your first house and the sun is in your seventh house. So something about your relationships, your relationships, the way you relate to others, your personality is being illuminated. Okay, think of it as like other people shining a light on you. Yeah, and you understanding your emotions, because moon is emotions, and yeah, the sun is illuminating all of that. Now the good thing is about this full moon, it's a good full moon. It doesn't have any bad aspects. So yeah, normally when there are harsh aspects to the full moon, we feel irritable, we feel on the edge, angry, overly sensitive, overly emotional. Yeah, but at this full moon, yes, we are still going to be emotional, but in a positive way, because the full moon is making positive aspects to Jupiter and Saturn. Yeah, and remember, Saturn is your ruling planet. So when the ruling planet makes a positive aspect, that's like extra good. Yeah, there is this sense of stability in there. What else? So this full moon occurs right before July 4th. So the way this full moon expresses itself might be that you will be spending the July 4th celebrations with the people that are close to you, that are important to you, because the sun is in your seventh house, with your significant other. Yeah, with the people that you trust, you will be spending time with them, and you will be feeling like pleasant feelings. Think of it as like your cups being full, okay? Because full moons is like full emotions. Think of it as like in terms of tides. When there's full moon, there's lots of water at the beach because of the high tide. And since we are 80% water, our emotions are also full. Yeah, so it's a good full moon. What else? So you can expect some sort of like culmination, minor, okay, tiny, because this full moon is regular. It's not a lunar eclipse. This is not gonna bring some life-changing event, like your life won't turn upside down. Okay. So yeah, and then on July 6th, you can expect people to be a little bit tense, because there will be a mini T-square involving the moon, Venus, Mars, and Uranus. Yeah, but the good thing is it lasts for only one day, because the moon moves relatively quickly, so it's gonna spend like only one day making that harsh aspect. Yeah, but expect people to be on the edge, a bit irritable. You yourself might feel that way, so be patient with yourself and with others. Next, on July 9th, we have the last quarter moon in Aries in your fourth house. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because take that time, the week that comes after the last quarter moon, to wrap things up that started with the new moon in June. It's a great time to wrap things up, to relax, to get ready, to recharge your batteries, and get ready for the new moon on July 17th. So yeah, don't feel bad if you feel a little bit tired, or don't feel like doing anything from July 9th until July 15th. Take that time to recharge your batteries, get ready. don't waste energy trying to start anything new, because it's going to be a waste of time. It's not going to take off the ground. I'm going to give an example from my own life. In May, I was having some problems, and because I was in panic, I completely forgot about the transits, and I thought I found some projects, and I packed all my stuff. I was ready to go, but I couldn't find the means to get there. And because of the delays, the other party was like, you know what, we actually changed our mind. Like, it was canceled. Yeah, so I ended up doing all of that stuff for nothing, wasting energy, wasting my nerves, anxiety. Yeah, it was a complete waste of time. I should have checked the transits first. So yeah, don't repeat my mistake, and take that time to relax. Next, on July 10th, we have Mars entering Virgo until August 27th. So Mars is gonna enter your house of long distance travel, philosophy, okay, your beliefs, your morals. It's the house of seeing the big picture, not like focusing on tiny details, but seeing the big picture. Yeah. So Mars is gonna activate those themes somehow until August 27th. July 11th, Mercury enters Leo until July 28th. So Mercury is gonna be in your 8th house for 2.5 weeks. 8th house is a house of intimacy, shared resources. So you might be communicating more on those topics, okay? Shared resources, the money that you owe to banks, like your credit cards, your loans, stuff like that. Or maybe you will be asking the people who owe money to you, like, to pay that money back, okay? Yeah, you get the idea. Communication, shared resources, other people's money. Yeah, so the communication is gonna be focused on that. Next, on July 17th, we have a new moon in Cancer on the 24th degree of Cancer. So this new moon happens in your 7th house. 7th house is the house of relationships, partnerships. Yeah, and we get new moons in our 7th house only once a year. Well, sometimes 2 times a year, but mostly once a year. So take that time to focus on your relationships. There will be some news regarding your relationships. New moons bring new energy. It's like, think of it as a page turning. It's like a lunar new month. Yeah. So there might be some news regarding your relationship, your significant other. Maybe business partnership, because 7th house is not only like your lover, it's also your business partnerships, the people who have the same interest as you, like in terms of business. Yeah, so you can expect that. This new moon makes a harsh aspect to Pluto in your sign on the 29th degree of Capricorn, and yeah, this aspect is tense. But we have this trine to Neptune and a sextile to Uranus, and those are going to act like pressure valves. And the thing about the new moon is that it is not as emotional as a full moon, because again, think of it as the sea tides. When there's new moon, the tide is low, the water is very far away from the beach, and so in our body the emotions are also very low. So even though we have this tense aspect, we won't be that moody. Yeah, so expect some news regarding your partnerships, regarding your relationships around this time. It's not going to be something major, because this is not a solar eclipse. Yeah, you can expect minor news, announcements, decisions. On the same day as this new moon, we have the North Node entering Aries, your 4th house. Yeah, so for the past year and a half, the North Node has been transiting your 5th house. So the focus was on your children, your hobbies, creativity, and stuff like that. And the eclipses have been happening there. But now the shift focuses on your home, your family, okay, your emotions, the place where you live. That's the 4th house. The focus is gonna shift to that. And that means the North Node's arrival here signifies that the eclipses are also going to be happening here. Starting from July, for the next year and a half, you might move somewhere, because fourth house is where we live, and eclipses bring complete total changes. So yeah, you can expect to move because of work. Yeah, or because you move, you will start looking for new work. This can be the interpretation of this. And the thing about the North Node is that it takes 18 years to come back to the same sign. So that means last time North Node was in Aries in your fourth house was in 2005 and 2006. Try to remember what happened then, if you were old enough. Did you move back then? Did you switch careers? Did you renovate your home back then? Because this time, again, those themes are going to be triggered again. And obviously the circumstances will be different because the outer planets will be making different aspects this time. But yeah, the general theme is going to be the same. So on July 22nd, we have Venus stationing retrograde on the 28th degree of Leo in your 8th house. Venus rules money, our values, our relationships, okay? How we relate, it rules aesthetics. And 8th house rules money too. It's the house of shared resources. It's the money of other people, your partner's money. It's the house of like related, yeah, like the money that we owe to banks, okay? So you will start reviewing those things. You will start reviewing your loans, maybe your spending. Yeah, or your partner might be reviewing like how they spend. I'm gonna make a separate video for Venus retrograde in July, so you can check it out in July if you want to. But yeah, generally Venus is reevaluation. It's not a good time to invest, okay? Because 8th house is investments. Venus retrograde is not a good time for investments. If you can, try to hold on to your money and like really think, research. Take that time to reevaluate and research. It's not a good time to buy expensive things or clothes, because Venus rules fashion. Yeah, because if you buy lots of clothes now, you will end up changing your mind later. You're like, why did I buy this? I don't even like this stuff. So yeah, don't waste money on that. Instead, what you can do is you can buy used things, antiques, okay? Because people who will be selling those things during Venus retrograde, they won't know the true value of the things that they are selling. So yeah, if you really want to buy something, try to buy antiques. Or if you are thinking of buying some antiques, wait until Venus turns retrograde. So yeah. And another thing I wanted to mention is Venus retrogrades in the same sign every 8 years. So that means last time Venus was retrograde in your 8th house was in August 2015, July and August. So try to remember what happened then, okay? Because the same themes are going to be triggered, but obviously the circumstances will be different because the outer planets will be making different aspects this time. For example, in August 2015, Venus was making a trine to Uranus, but this time Venus will be making a square, so you get the idea. On the same day that Venus stations retrograde, the Sun will enter your 8th house. I mean, this transit occurs every year from July 22nd until August 22nd. So yeah, you will probably barely feel it, but the general theme of that period will be shared resources. The money that you owe or the money that people owe you, okay? Next, on July 23rd, Chiron will turn retrograde on the 19th degree of Aries in your 4th house. I mean, you have had Chiron in your 4th house for a couple of years now, and Chiron is the wounded healer, so it must have been healing your deep emotional wounds, because 4th house is wounds, childhood related wounds, I guess, because 4th house rules our childhood, mother issues. It's like your home, like, okay, so yeah, feelings, that's all I can like think of when I think about the 4th house, feelings, emotions. So yeah, and Chiron has been healing those. And now Chiron is pretty far away from the Sun, so it's very subtle. you won't feel this retrograde unless you have planets or points around the 19th degree of Aries. Some of you might have your moon around the 19th degree of Aries. Then yes, you are going to feel this retrograde. Or maybe you have your rising sign around the 19th degree of Aries. Then yes, you are going to feel this retrograde. Okay? But other Capricorns, you will barely notice it. Next, on July 25th, we have the first quarter moon. So first quarter moon means that you will see like the first results, I guess, the tangible results from the new moon in Cancer. Yeah, because think of it this way: the new moon, we still cannot see the moon. It's still in the darkness, and it will slowly start emerging. And by the time it reaches the first quarter moon, we can see already half of it. So yeah, the seed will kind of start showing the green parts, I guess, the growing. I don't know. English is not my native language, so I don't know the exact term for it. What is it called when the green stuff emerges from the seed? So yeah, you get the idea. On July 28th, Mercury enters Virgo until October 4th. So Mercury is in your 9th house for an extended stay. It's gonna spend 2.5 months in there because it's gonna turn retrograde in your 9th house in August. But I'm gonna talk more about that in August. So anyway, I mean, Mars already is in your 9th house, and Mercury is gonna join Mars in there. So you can expect communication regarding 9th house matters. Maybe you will be getting ready for some travel. Maybe you will be talking about like your philosophy, your morals. Maybe you will be communicating with foreigners, with foreign friends more. Yeah, because Mercury is those things. Okay. And since 9th house rules traveling, you might travel at some point in August. Yes, so from July 28th or in September. So yeah. So Capricorns, this is it for July. As I said, the month begins with that Sun and Mercury conjunction in your 7th house. So there might be some news, maybe some understanding regarding your partnerships, your relationships. And then again, the theme of relationships is still active at this full moon on July 3rd. The full moon will be in your 1st house and the Sun is in your 7th house. So yeah, you will understand something about yourself and the way you relate to others, relationships. And the thing is, this full moon is good. It doesn't make any bad aspects, so you can be sure that this full moon can be like nice and pleasant, not angry or irritable. Okay, and you can expect to have a good time on July 4th. So yeah, next we have the new moon in your relationship house on July 17th. So yeah, again, some news regarding your partnerships, some news regarding your partner, something new in their life. But this is not a solar eclipse, so you can expect some minor news. On the same day of this new moon, the North Node enters your 4th house. So yeah, the place where you live, something is gonna change about that. Maybe some of you will renovate your house. Some of you might move to a new place. Okay, because the eclipses will be happening in your 4th house because of this North Node, and eclipses bring big changes. So yeah, that should be exciting. And as I said, try to remember 2005 and 2006. What happened then? Because something similar will be happening again. Next, Venus will turn retrograde in your 8th house on July 22nd for 40 days. So take that time to review how you spend money, how you share resources, how much money you owe to banks, how are you gonna repay that, or if people owe money to you, maybe like contact them and remind them that they owe money to you. But yeah, so because Venus is money and 8th house is also money, I feel like it's gonna be more about money for you guys. But for some Capricorns, this period can be not only about money but also reviewing your relationships, how you relate to others. Okay, maybe some old lover is gonna return into your life and be like, hey, remember me. Yeah, but like I wouldn't say Venus retrograde is a good time to rekindle that romance. No, use that time to review your values, okay? Because you wouldn't have broken up with that person if you guys were compatible. I mean, it might be a good time to reconciliate with somebody if you broke up like right before this Venus retrograde. Then yeah, it might still be fine to get back together, okay? But if it's from a long time ago, I would say it's a bit of a red flag. So yeah, and the month finishes with Mercury's arrival in your ninth house. So foreign matters, foreign documents are somehow gonna be relevant for you in August and September. Okay, so I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please subscribe. And I wish you guys a pleasant July, and see you guys in August. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.